Greetings. Welcome all to Dorsey's Resource. Topic of this video is going to be from a missed parlay to now becoming the actual prize. Laugh emoji. Yo, I just want to come before you guys. This is an impromptu video, real quick. I erased the one that I did last week in relation to this off topic, getting away from what I'm normally into. I've taken a break from a lot of things, like the in-depth study and in-depth research and things that I normally do. But my private group, besides that, is not really neither here nor there. But we are making progress. But this is just something different. I've been talking about, my little adventures in my personal life. This is kind of like a miniature vlog in a way, about the dating app. I just wanted to show receipts. By the way, this is kind of funny to me, but the in the thumbnail, which is the picture description of the video, before you watch the actual video, you see like a photo, a small picture. If you look closely, it says like 1,909 visitors. Shortly thereafter, this past Thursday, I deactivated the site. Then early Friday, I basically created another account because I was kind of doing a test there. Ever since I told you guys, I joined several different sites that are dating sites, but they're not your typical dating sites, by the way. But that's all I'll kind of leave it at. I'm not really going as in depth. You can kind of say I already have. Those that are familiar will already be familiar. Those who are not may not, necessarily. And I'm going to try to be sometimes vague because there's certain details I haven't actually discussed. There's things I have mentioned about these sites, but the whole story behind this is funny, really funny to me. Just over a month ago, so early part actually of September, it was on a Saturday, and I was just brand new to this. I was perusing, and this particular site was going to be the first one I was actually going to deactivate and not even deal with it anymore. But it seemed like it turned out to be the best one. I hid the name. You kind of see I put an envelope in front of the name of the site, hid some details, but I wanted to show when I figured out how to track how many inboxes I was getting, because I noticed when I first signed up that there was a different site, which I put in a previous video that I've done, a couple of video, like one video ago on this very channel. I uploaded a thumbnail of that particular dating app, and since then that one's over 400 messages. I haven't even really checked, only a few, because I'm getting so many messages I can't even handle. It's unreal. But I just want to show receipts, by the way, for those out there that didn't believe, and I have read a lot of messages. I've read hundreds of messages, and I kind of did this as after I joined the one particular site. I joined two more because I thought it would help increase my chance of the type of women that I'm really into, by the way. But little did I know, I haven't even honestly messaged anyone yet, like cold approach, on there when you're looking through, let's say, different profiles of different members. I've had women basically they're throwing themselves at me, by the way. So this came as a shock to me. I was really, really surprised. I already kind of told the story about it. I was really elated, but I just wanted to show evidence. This particular site, even though that number says like 1,000 over 900, it's more of an accurate reflection of how many, if they didn't direct message you, if they actually came to your profile, it's a high volume. And that number was actually, when it hit 2,000, the number went back to over 1,000, by the way. So that number actually is like over 2,900 hits so far, visitors. And about that amount, well over that amount, I estimated message me. Now, between all the sites that I've joined, I estimated currently I'm approximately over 6,000 DMs by the way. It's one site I was going to deactivate. By the way, I only saw this one particular site. I saw a few, I was interested in a couple, but it wasn't really popping like the other ones were. So I just messaged one sister who reached out to me, who I was actually surprised because when I first joined this particular site, um, I checked the profile out and I said, she wasn't bad at all, and I told her, we kind of, discussed some things, and I let her know I was about to actually deactivate it, but I didn't. She thought I was just gonna leave her hanging, but then she didn't know I can also bookmark, and the women I'm into I can add as like my favorites. But besides, if I don't get a chance to do that, with the little bit of tech skills that I have, basic skills, I can bookmark the page or come back to it, or if I was going to temporarily reactivate the site, if I'm, so I had to let her sure because she thought I was just going to leave her hanging. And I was like, no, that wasn't the case pretty much. But that's all I'll leave it at. There's some more to it. But that one just kind of did as an experiment, a social experiment, because I was wondering what my theory was. I kind of went over some of this already. I won't, you know, kind of mention going, bring it up too much anymore. But I was really, really, really surprised, by the way. And when I reactivated the account, the site that I deleted, which is the image of it is in the thumbnail, the show I had as of this past Thursday, it was in the afternoon. I had over that was well over 2,000 visitors, and that's about. It could have been higher than that, but that was by the time that I checked, just from that site alone. By the way, so up front, I had joined like a few dating sites, and I went a while. You could say about a week ago, the early part of October, around the 10th, 11th of the month. It was after the 10th of this month. I had joined a few others, and one I saw wasn't that bad. It's actually good, and I found out it was actually like a sister site compared to this other site that I was part of. I actually put on pause for 7 days. I might do that again because I see I have the option with the sister site. By the way, it looked like they're by the same company because I recognize some of the people, a few on there from the other sister site or whatever. And interesting, I won't go into details, but some of what I was going to give some details, but I won't. I'm going to kind of cut that part off. But I noticed that these particular two different sites I was able to count. But the first one I had a while ago, I had put on pause because I was like, it's no need. I didn't know I was going to get this many inboxes or women direct messaging me. By the way, I had no clue whatsoever I was going to get this much attention. So, but I was only doing that in the beginning to increase my odds and a particular interest. You could say that, was more so my type or whatnot. But I got some really, even though I brought up some cougar mamas, I actually got a lot of young women that would probably, if their mothers or fathers knew, they would be, or uncles, or knew their nieces were on there, they'd probably be upset. But, girls, I know this from the song years ago, they just want to have fun. But I've got a lot of messages, not just from middle-aged people around my age, as well as the people above, but I got, you could say, way more very, very, very attractive women. I'm going to say I have a lot of options, by the way. And it's ways that I'm able to tell certain things with the way that the offers I'm getting. And some of the sites have different features, by the way, other than when I mentioned somebody can add you as their favorite. This one in particular, someone can send, let's say, certain type of propositions to you. I won't say, I'll kind of, leave that, but just put it that way. There's one particular site, you can not only add favorites, but they can, put other type of proposition on there too. It's kind of funny. And that's the one I was referring to that actually seemed like it turned out to be the best one. And I don't know what it is, if but it is for what it is. But I just wanted to show the receipt, show evidence For those that didn't believe me, I was shocked myself. I told my buddy, he says he knew one of my friends. We were discussing, he's actually married. I have several friends that are married too, by the way. One of them's out of state. My main mentor, he's out of state, but I have a couple friends locally where I'm at. One of them I'm in more consistent contact with. The other buddy of mine I've been trying to reach out to, it's been a while. He's married, found out he's really close friends to the former mayor of Detroit, by the way. So I've been meaning it. I tried to reach out a while ago, but I remember when we did speak some years ago, he told me he was extremely, extremely busy because he, in the past, he worked President Obama's campaign. He did like political work. He's also like concert promotion, stuff like that. I think he's more so doing that now when I asked a relative, but he may be doing some other things now. But yeah, I have a buddy of mine. One of my buddies said he kind of already knew this. I said I really was oblivious to some of these things, but I'm elated. I'm very flattered. But I just wanted to show the image and the thumbnail, the description of this video. Those numbers are actually deceptive. That's supposed to be over 2,000, by the way. And when I joined these other sites, it was just pretty much confirmation. I did as like a social experiment because I was still not really sure, so hey, it is for what it is, but I'm grateful. Other than that, I wasn't going to be before you all that long. I'm going to be out. I'm trying to think of what topics, what things I'm going to discuss down the road, by the way. But this was like an impromptu video just to show how I went from a missed parlay to now becoming an actual prize, where I'm literally the option. I had to put a disclaimer, by the way, in one of the sites that I had to let it be known I'm not into women who are older than me. When I can give specific types, I know what I want, but I've had a lot of good feedback, good chemistry between a lot of women who have messaged me. But I do have my top tier favorites, by the way. And I'm not into older women at all. Like they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I had to put a disclaimer. I have to work on another site because some women I've noticed from some of the comments, they think, it's a good chance I didn't even see the comment because I get so many messages. Like my inbox is getting so flooded with direct messages, DMs. So many women are hitting me up that I can't even keep up with all the messages. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. And I'm getting offers. I'm having women, they'll let me know if they're lawyers, doctors. I even had a woman who said she's over a Fortune 500 company. She would pay me a lot of money, I guess, to be a gigolo. I think that's what it's called. And I had another woman that messaged me that said the same thing, that she was over, a major corporation and pretty much similar. And, yeah, so that really surprised me. But I said I'm going to have to let it be known my preferences so I can narrow down, what my interests are, because it's like it's getting out of hand, especially with some of the ones I already put on one of the sites. I contacted the administrators from one of the sites to let them know, I put my filters in. Why am I still getting, hitting me up? I don't know if it's because it's not a lot of guys on here or what, but I have had numerous women message me, inbox, and say that my profile stood out or they didn't like the other guys that were on there. They told me one that said in particular other guys look like toads. So I started cracking up. I said it was funny. They said they look like frogs. I said, damn, I'm really that attractive compared to the other guys. And I was like, okay. But it's just like I said, reading them different messages is hilarious because I'm getting all type of messages. And I can literally tell, by the way, I'm seeing women, they do the same thing that the guys do, the fellas do, that's shooting their shot. I'm seeing the exact same tactics that a lot of the dudes do. It even looks like some of the women on there where I notice if they don't get a reply from me, if they're an older woman, it looks like they'll create a newer account, change their age, because you have to be 18 years up. They have some type of disclaimer where you can get in jail, you can go to jail, you can get in trouble if you lie about your age or whatever, because they put like when you one of the sites I noticed is it actually suggests that you download the disclaimer, the legal aspect of it. But one of the women, some of the women, it appears like when I look at the different profiles, they don't, like I said, I may not see the message because my inboxes, by the time I check, with me being on so many different sites now and messages, I can only check so many at a time. I work a full-time job, but some don't understand. I can see some women know, they've even messaged me and say, well, how many before me have, or I'm just checking to see, are you still single, or has anybody messaged you? And one woman, I take this as a compliment. She said, I can't believe a guy as fine as you are on this particular type of site. By the way, that was just confirmation for me. She seemed to be really serious, but I can tell it's different variations, a lot of similar messages, but I am getting stricter about my preference, because I am not into dating women that are older than me. My personal belief is women mature a lot faster. I've never been married before. I'm still single. I don't have any children. So I was looking to start a family, not walk into a family. My goal has always been to start a family. Now, it's a difference with women that I already know. There's a difference if I already have a rapport. There's only a handful of women that are older than me that I would actually date and talk to. And there's a whole story behind that in particular. One of them I kind of gave kind of a description of in a previous video. If, I had that opportunity, it's only a small, and it's literally less than the amount you can count on your fingers, by the way, from any woman. But generally speaking, I have so many women that are younger, much younger than me, or even around my age range is fine, by the way, because there's some things I do know, by the way. But I've also had a lot of young ones, and to keep it more simple, but because I have, it's funny, women I've seen, they're like, I'm like, what are you doing on here? I don't want to be reminded of my grandmother. I'm here to have fun, just like you have. I've read this in their messages, and vice versa. I'm here to have fun too. I'm not here to be reminded of my grandmother. So it's nothing personal. It is for what it is, but everybody has different interests. That's why these sites have preferences for you to set what your type may be, what your interests are. But some some women seem not to give up. And that's mainly a lot of white women, by the way. They seem to be very, very aggressive, whether young or old, whatever age. They are the most aggressive, by the way. But my top preferences are women, not only of my own ethnic background, but my Asian sisters, konnichiwa, etc. Been hitting me up big time. I'm really, really impressed. I was shocked by that. A few Arab women, they would know. I used to work with some years ago. Actually, a card that I posted on my Twitter handle. They signed a couple women, one in the department I used to work in. They were of Lebanese descent, and they would know what I mean if I say Ente Hilawa. To my Arab Mediterranean sisters out there, appreciate you hitting me up. The Asian women, Hispanic, Latino, to my chicas out there, Mikasa Sukasa, love you, appreciate you. So those are my top, preferences. Certain women I'm into take priority, by the way. But other than that, it is for what it is. But I'm showing the receipts. That's why I did the video. I went from Miss Parlay to now being the prize. And like I said to myself, this is so funny because I follow the basketball player Angel Reese, and she referred to herself as a Bayou Barbie. She transferred from Maryland. She's really from Maryland, but she transferred to Louisiana State. That's LSU University. I watched. It's funny. She put the hand in front of Caitlin Clark. I do love that sassiness. By the way, the following years, I also followed the basketball player out of Connecticut. Big shout out to I've never met before AZ Fudd and Paige Buchers. I was so elated when they won the women's national championship some years later. I followed them since the days of Aaliyah Boston, who played for South Carolina under Coach Dawn Staley, who I saw her win the gold medal years ago. during the same Olympics that Shannon Miller, Kim Zemesco, Dominique Dawes, the USA women's gymnastics team from some years ago. Also, I can't forget Carrie Strug and that whole amazing team. So I keep up with sports, but this funny. I look at myself. I must be a Ken dog because I did not know, have no idea I was going to get this many hits. So this is very, very flattering. I'm elated, but just putting it out there in a way. If some of the ones ever come across this, because I keep certain things separate, but they have to figure it out. But I appreciate the love out there. Like I said, and till next time, hope everyone has a blessed and wonderful Halloween's coming up. If you celebrate the different holidays, I know the church, they may call it a harvest party, something different. But big shout out, and Thanksgiving is coming up, Christmas. And if I don't talk to you guys then, you guys have a wonderful, great time. I'm out.